Welcome to Dwarf Academy, episode 15. Uh, we still haven't got a well, which is pretty remiss of me. So our dwarves who are injured certainly won't be able to drink clean water. The other dwarves will collect water. They might collect it from a muddy pool or from a brook. If we can get them to drink from a well, it's better. And certainly, if we get locked down, we can't collect water from the surface. We're going to need that well before that point. We seem to be at peace with the goblins, and we haven't been attacked by anybody. I've put the Dwarf Fortress sound sense module on just to see how that works in this episode, and we'll hear some strange sounds. We're going to build a well in this episode, and we're going to focus on that. We're going to learn to be focused, and that's going to be fun. First of all, just have a look at our dwarves, check up on them. A lot of them are busy doing simple tasks. A few of them are not, but they're socializing, or they're meditating, or they're listening to poetry. Children are doing their thing. Soldiers are not occupied. We do need to focus on getting bows and bolts and armor for our military, more weapons and armor for our next squads, our melee squads. But before that, we're just quickly going to focus in this episode on building a well. What we're going to do is we're going to dig a channel, a reservoir from a freshwater source, which is this brook, and we're going to do that by digging in the soil and in the rock, and we're going to place our well just up here, close to the stairwell, and that will allow our dwarves easy access. So we're going to create a small room in order to build the well, within which to build the well. And we're going to build it in soil. We could site this well in a different location in rock, and that would cause it to be of higher value. Once we've got this water isolated, though, we can expand the plumbing system throughout the fortress at a later stage. At this point, I just want to get it dug and get water into the fort before we have a siege or anything like that. So the miners are busy eating and drinking. Daytime was pretty unhappy when we looked at him. He was worried, he was restless. A lot of things. Yeah, he's annoyed about not drinking after drinking at a well. He was annoyed after being in the sunshine, which would happen if that's not something he's used to. He was worried about a lack of decent meals, unable to practice a martial art. Okay, and I'm assuming his martial art will be as a because he's a miner. He'll have the skill in I don't know. He's a hammer dwarf, is he? We can have a look in there. Therapist. Daytime will be up here. Okay. Current job, no job. Oh, Daytime's a child. I'm sorry, I thought Daytime was our manager. This Daytime's a manager. Yeah, so he's a legendary miner, which will give him skills with a pickaxe. That doesn't translate into a skill, into a military skill. So which martial art is it that he's unhappy about? Not exercising. That doesn't seem to make sense. This miner. Oh, he was disgusted while forced to drink vomit. And he was disgusted after being nauseated by the sun. He's the former manager of the Iron Vipers. So he was reliving suffering a major injury. So yeah, this is what made me look at him. He was shaken and disgusted, and I've been alerted to that. Well, I hope he cheers up soon. He's not been hospitalised. He's not killed anybody yet. He seems to have had some happy thoughts recently. Focus. So I've now got a fully grown. So I am focused. I'm focused on mining this well. I was just checking out what was going on with my miners, but they seem to just be happy, sleeping and drinking. At this point, we could recruit some more miners. I think we've recruited a third miner earlier in the series. I'm going to recruit this monster eradicating dwarf. Okay, 79 citizens. As I said in the last episode, we're going to smelt iron and pig iron, and we're going to make steel. So we've got 4 iron producing smelters, 2 pig iron producing smelters, and 2 steel producing smelters. So that's 2 steel production lines, which is 6 smelters. And then we've got fuel cooking down here, and then we've got a spare smelter. It looks like we're running out of iron ores. So to the mines. We've been digging out fuel. Oh, we've got a bard visiting. I like the sound sense sometimes. I've stopped using it on various occasions because it's annoyed me, or because I'm particularly sensitive to the sounds. If that makes sense. But we'll see how it goes. This is magnetite, so we can dig out this magnetite, and we'll just auto mine any jewels, and there's some limonite. So that'll give us some more iron ores. Let's have a look. If we could recruit a couple of miners. We might have to make some picks. This farmer. Okay. So these guys will be furnace operators once. Woodcrafter. What's the game telling me? We've got lots of visitors. So they're ringing the doorbell. That's nice. Right, I want a miner, metal crafter. This guy can mine. And metal crafter. This guy can be miner. Oh, he's my gem cutter, isn't he? Oh, this gem cutter. Okay, that's not what I remembered. I thought we had a gem cutter and a gem setter. So we'll make a few picks. Hopefully we'll start mining a bit quicker. And we'll do that in the blacksmiths, which is going to become much busier soon. We're going to make a couple of extra anvils. Couldn't think what they were called for a moment. We'll make 3, and we're going to make some picks. We'll make them out of copper if we've got some copper. Still got some copper, so we were going to make ammo and cross and some bolts as well. But we'll make a couple of picks. The picks can be made out of anything because they're just going to be used for mining at this point. And we're going to start making copper bolts and put that on a repeat order. Okay, so our weaponsmith will make some excellent and valuable copper bolts, which won't be excellent for killing people, especially armoured enemies, but they'll be fine for purposes of archery practice at this stage. So the FPS is still around 77. We're doing okay. The planter has got no spawn to plant, which suggests that well, he's run out of seeds clearly. Probably we could do with brewing up some of these plump helmets. Some of these plump helmets, I've got a lot of those. And they're set for cook and brew. We've got a lot of stuff to brew as well, you see. We're brewing all this other stuff. Clearly the plump helmets have not been touched. We stopped preparing raw fish. So the raw fish preparation is automated in the menu, in the auto workshops menu in orders. So we're preparing meals, but yeah, we didn't set up these tasks. We're going to brew from plants first. Hopefully they'll brew the plump hamlets soon enough, and the farmer will be able to plump his next season's crop. That's not a problem. We've got loads of plump helmets now, more than enough. And we can trade those if we want to, or we can keep them for ourselves. At the moment, we're just planning to keep all this stuff for our dwarves. We've got no drinks, so we've been remiss in that. The miners are mining now. They've dug out this chamber, so further to that, we're gonna try and build a well system. So the well's going to be up here. We don't want it to be too close to the edge because we might not be able to build it. So this will be the well, and it will go down into this area here, which is going to be, it's just going to be a long tunnel which we're going to be able to block off. And we're going to be able to block that off using a floodgate. And we're going to build some stairs up here. So we've got an up staircase at the end and a stairwell. Up, down, stairwell. That will take us up to the level of the river. There's a down stairwell, and then we'll have a long tunnel here up to the point where the bank of the river is, and an up stairwell there, and a down stairwell there. And the dwarves will dig that out. We're going to build in this tunnel. We're going to build a fortification to stop any creatures that might be in the water coming through and into the fort. Certainly that's good practice. It's more important if you're taking from a water source in a cavern layer where there's more dangerous animals, or in a more dangerous biome. At this point, we have, I think, built some coffins, or we've constructed some coffins, but we're yet to build them. So we need to build those in a cemetery, the Dwarven cemetery. We'll build them in this area where the well is. We'll build them using the build menu. Press N for coffin, and we've got a few of those. And I think we built some nesting boxes previously. We'll just build those now while we remember. In the bird room, and they're built with Shift N. Nest box. And the turkeys will lay eggs in those, and our dwarves will automatically collect those for to eat. If we forbid them, or if we can build some doors. We've got a full-grown sow, and that's a pet. It's adopted a dwarf. Pets aren't going to get eaten. That would create some bad thoughts for their adoptive dwarves. I think it's winter, so these fields are all fallow. We're going to see wait for the well to be dug. In order to build the well, we're going to need buckets, which we'll make in we'll make them out of metal. We'll make a chain as well, and a block. What bars of metal have we got for a high value well? We've got some silver bar. We've got 1 silver bar. We could make the well out of steel and build a room out of it, and that would be high value. Gold, equally. And I want to save the steel for weapons and armor, which we're going to start building very soon. We've got a couple of extra anvils, but we're trying to focus on the well. So after this bolt has been constructed, the dwarves are going to be asked to make a gold chain for the well, a gold bucket, and a gold block. And after that, we've got some steel, so we're going to start making some armor for our melee squads, and we're going to make mail shirts. A mail shirt is we'll go into this in more detail, but mail shirt will cover the upper legs and the body of the dwarf. And the first squad's going to be 3 dwarves, so we're going to make high boots. They'll cover the lower leg and the foot, and we're going to make some other bits of armor soon. Okay, back to the well, which is being dug now. So this lower area, the sand area, will serve as a reservoir, and I'm going to designate a channel across the bottom of that, which will dig down into this rock layer, which hasn't been mined at this point. We'll have to make sure we don't dig into that, but it'll be apparent on the layer below that there is water in a reservoir. Okay, this channel is yet. So that channel is yet to be dug. What our dwarf's going to do, you have to be very careful when you're designating these things that you don't dig a channel in rock above a dwarf in a tunnel below. But it's only sand that's going to possibly fall on the dwarf's head, and I think I've designated it properly. These fishery workers are busy fishing, and the fishery workshops are empty, so they're tidying up after themselves. We've got a bunch of refuse. We can make things out of this shell. We can make things out of the horn. There's a colony of bees, and they're living in a pond turtle shell. Let's build a crafter dwarf's workshop up on the surface here, and work our way through that bone and shell. So now this channel has been dug. we're going to build we're going to build using the constructions submenu a fortification. So that's B for build, Shift C for construction, and Shift F for fortification. We're going to build a fortification in wood. Dwarves aren't going to see this, and it's going to be
another baby. Well, at least it's not an explosion of cats.
Woodcutter has given birth to a boy. Congratulations, Carol. Rulushill on your new baby boy dwarf. The coffins have been built, and we need to set by just hovering over in Q. Press B for burial, and that will allow all the coffins to be used for burial. The dwarf, I think he was a trader. He was killed by a creature of the night. He's up on the corpse pile, where he was when we found. Oh, there is, yes. So there's a corpse pile here. They're going to take him and they're going to give him a burial. If we didn't do that, eventually he might come to haunt us as a ghost, which is a terrible thing, especially if the dead dwarf decides to start attacking and maiming your dwarves. Don't know why this channel hasn't been dug up here yet, but there we go. So we've got a channel, we've got a reservoir, construction up here has been built. We're going to be unable to reach that, the other side of that, because are we? There's no way up from here, which is no good. So we could build a ramp, but that's where we want to have our well. And we might have to just deconstruct so we can deconstruct. If we go into the D for designation, we can go to the construction, which the building that we want to get rid of. If we go N, we'll remove construction. It's construction because it was built in the construction submenu of the build mode. We need to get rid of that because on the other side of it we want to build a floodgate. So we're going to build a floodgate briefly. Just chat to the mason and ask them to make a floodgate, which is L. You can press L for floodgate. We've got a whole bunch of coffers and cabinets to build in the bedrooms. As you can see, if they don't have a container, they're going to put in. They're going to drop all these things on the floor. These are camp, so some trousers, a sock or a glove. So if we give him or her a cabinet, that's a coffer. I'll be able to tidy up into that. We have some cabinets as well, so we'll build these cabinets in these other rooms, and then they've all got some sort of container. Eventually they'll have a couple of containers each. And these will give the dwarves some happy thoughts. I imagine we'll probably have an immigration wave soon, as the quality of life improves for our residents. And they spread the word to the rest of civilization. Board walls, the amazing academy. Okay, that's the end of this episode. We've got the channel built. We'll get the well constructed in the next episode. Be happy. Strike the earth. Cheerio.